Alright, so today we're just going to do a quick process in the studio here doing random sound development stuff where you gradually wear down a sound to make it not so polished. So we're starting with the ASR-X and we're going to end up somewhere in the Mirage. But before we get started, I gotta remind you that next week, the Ensoniq ASR-10 Beginner's Manual is getting a considerable overhaul with the addition of a new section. This section covers a lot of utility functions of the ASR-10 that makes the ASR-10 just a real pleasure to use. So if you've just gotten an ASR-10 or you're in the market for an ASR-10 and you don't know where to start or it's a little bit too overwhelming for you, this is the manual for you. You know where to get it, info in the description box below. And with that, let's get on to things. Alright, so we're starting with a snare coming out of the ASR-X. It's just a pretty standard 80s rock snare. And what I want to do is just slowly give it some character over time. So let's start with the snare. It sounds like this. Right, pretty standard. So now I've used the ASR-X to degrade it down to 5 bits. So now we have this. Right, you could hear that the reverb tail has now turned to fuzzy digital mess, which is cool because it's just basically compressed everything and translated it as noise. So I've tapered that off with an envelope here. And just a little bit more. Then I've lowered the pitch and tapered the envelope just a little bit more. Alright, so it feels about right to me. So let's just step back and see where we evolved from so far. So we're just taking one step back. And that was back to the original. So now that I have this, it's a big stereo file, and to get it even more worn down, I'm going to transfer it over by sending this signal over to the Mirage and sampling it there. So let's see what we end up now with it in the Mirage. Right, it feels right. And if you see me playing things over and over again, I'm basically just listening to how it works out to my ears, and then sometimes I tweak it a little bit just to make it more agreeable with me. But in the meantime, also things I like to do, especially with the Mirage, is to add the resonant filter, because sometimes it works. This time it didn't work. But anyway, let's put things back and then just another listen just to make sure this is what I like. Right, so I got the character I was looking for. It's now mono, so it's a lot more condensed and a lot more localized. And I'm happy with that. That is something that I can now save anywhere. But let's go back and compare the ASR-X to how the Mirage sounds. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Mirage. And yet you're seeing that it's a subtle process. It's not nothing crazy. It's just a gradual wearing down of the sounds, kind of like aging it a little bit, so that now when I take a sound like this and I put it in a mix, it doesn't sound like it came from the ASR-X. And it's a little bit more flexible because it doesn't have so much shine on it. It's not so polished, but yet it's not super gritty and nasty. But speaking of nasty, I did also transfer over the 5-bit version that I did with the long tail. Remember that? Check and listen to how it sounds pitched down in the Mirage. That is crazy, right? So there's a lot more things you can do with a sound like that now. That could be anything. That could be like a sound design sort of effect. It could be a kick. I could turn that into so many things. But anyway, that's all I wanted to show you guys today. Do take the time to like, share, and subscribe to this video. I will catch you guys on the next one. In the meantime, please do take care of yourself. Peace.